What a game. What absolute ecstasy in the Premier League. Welcome back to the Football Terrace. An amazing comeback by Wolverhampton Wanderers against the current double champions Manchester City. What a game. Wonderful moments, brilliant use of VAR. And look, it's not even another nail in the coffin of Manchester City's title defense. This is the cremation. Tonight they were burnt. They had the bones crushed up. By tomorrow morning, Man City fans will be able to pick their team up in an urn. It is over. You are no longer champions. Stop wearing the golden lion. Give it to Liverpool now. Declare, hand it over. Let's move things on. It's finished. It's done. You threw away a 2-goal lead. You have been capitulating, collapsing all season. And it all stems from the place, a little place in England called Liverpool, called Anfield, managed by Jurgen Klopp. And I said this months and months ago, and I was shot down. And it's so nice. It is so nice to see kind of when your predictions come through. As soon as they started to drop a couple of points and Liverpool had that relentless nature moving forward, I said City would collapse. The fight was gone from them. They've won many titles, many trophies under Pep. And I felt the game was up. As soon as they fell a little bit behind, and they're falling further and further behind Liverpool, they truly are. If you go back and look at from the last time that Wolverhampton Wanderers beat them until now, they've lost so many games for their standards, by the way. Still a very good season, but it's over, it's finished. Liverpool are champions. There we go. We'll delve into that in a bit more detail. Wolves themselves, a massive congratulations to them. I believe the first team to do a double, the only other managers to do a double and team to ever do a double over a Pep Guardiola side in the league was Conte with Chelsea. That's it in his entire career. And it was phenomenal tonight. Traore, I thought, was absolutely brilliant. Jimenez took his goal well. Doherty, one of the most underrated fullbacks in the country, absolutely smashed it. It's done. It's over, and I think most people now would say that that is official. Do me a big favor. Please hit the like button. Please hit the share button as well. Two of the very best ways that you personally can support the Football Terrace. But it's done, and like I've said for a while now, I also think that we're going to see the end of Pep Guardiola at Manchester City. And this dominant run by Man City, 2 Premier League titles back-to-back, being invincible, not losing, barely losing games, barely conceding, finished. And this team do look disheveled as well. I feel that, and this is what happens, and it's why I would go back to something I remember listening to Ryan Giggs say, something that he said was unique about his time at Man United, that, when he speaks to fellow professionals at other clubs and other teams that have won major titles, they didn't have that same sense. It's very difficult to defend a league title. Very, very difficult to get your team up for it again. Just look through the records of teams that have won them back-to-back in English Premier League history, or even English top-level history. It doesn't happen a great deal. Man United, of course, did 3 on the bounce, and then it never happened for a decade, and City did defend it 2 years running. But for me, I felt that as soon as Liverpool carried on with that same relentless approach, there was going to come a point where either Liverpool or Man City were going to, something had to give. They couldn't keep up that level of intensity. And I think that City were the first team to go, because it may even be a subconscious moment in the mind where you think, oh, this is so hard to hang on. We've already won it twice. I need to almost give myself a rest from playing at that intensity, playing with that amount of, using that level of energy, fatiguing myself. And that's what Man City look like right now. They look fatigued. And I've said before, you could argue that this City team were the greatest ever because of the points totals they've had. But look how far they are behind defending their title in the 3rd year. Winning something 3 years running is so difficult, not just from the physical, not only from the tactical side, making sure teams don't work you out, but also the physical side of it as well. The physical and mental side, keeping that strength together is so difficult. And they've fallen apart now, City. There's no doubt about that in my mind. But I'm more interested in what you guys have got to say. Fan Chat TV here says Liverpool have 100% won the league. Listen, people can jump on that bandwagon now. I told you that in October. and I've been proven right time and time again on that one. I just saw a different attitude, and it was nothing to do with playing style, nothing to do with all the hipsters focusing on, oh, a flat back four here and a press there and a da. Forget all that. We're football fans. I'm 98. For me, 80 to 90% of the game is in the head, and I saw a psychological difference in Man City and Liverpool 2-3 months ago. Liverpool had that bit between their teeth. They wanted it still. To coin, I know it's from the film Rockies, but it was Apollo Creed that said it, the eye of the tiger. Liverpool still had that. City were gone. City had the silk pajamas on, and it's hard to get out of bed at 6 a.m. when you wear silk pajamas. They will come back again, by the way, City. They'll buy new players. They may get a new manager in. They'll rejuvenate. They'll come again. But as it stands right now, the team who play the best football, but also have that grit, the eye of the tiger, the determination, the mental strength, the passion, the character to want to win the league the most is Liverpool. Simple, straightforward as that for me. Another super chat here from Scouse Klopp, sorry. Says the 30-year wait is over, boys. It is. Liverpool Football Club are champions of England. Tyrone here with a super chat says this point gap gives Liverpool more leeway to attack other competitions. Could be a double or treble this year. Would prefer a treble to the invincible. Of course you'd prefer that. And do you know what? I give you a round of applause for saying that, because for years I've had Arsenal fans try to argue that doing the invincible season surpasses a treble season. And everyone knows you would give up. Liverpool now, like if you ask Liverpool fans now, win the league with 80 points and lose like 6 games between now and the end of the season, but that means you win the FA Cup and Champions League at the same time, or go unbeaten, be invincible, get 102 points, but you don't win anything else. I'm pretty sure in their heart of hearts, Liverpool fans would take a treble. And I think they would. So you're absolutely right in saying that, Tyrone. I could not agree with you more. Liverpool are champions. This could be a magic season for Liverpool. And it's that mental strength. And do you know why? It does give you leeway in the league, but I think it strengthens you. Do you know why? You can play without any pressure. You can play with freedom. You can express yourselves. And that's what Liverpool are going to do. They'll barely lose any games between now and the end of the campaign. Man City are in a different position. They feel beaten. They feel tired. They're defeated. They know they're not going to become champions again. And the exhaustion is going to show through. The difference, go and look at Pep's history. There was no competition in Germany, but still faded after 3 years. This is 4th year. I think he'll go. If you go and look at him at Barcelona, he was the man until he got pipped to the post by Mourinho's team, and then he was gone, wasn't he? Was it a year later? Maybe even the same summer? Gone. Doesn't generally have the minerals to stick around and want to rebuild a team. So I think we could see the end of Pep. It might even be the right time to move Pep on, because the way Pep Guardiola's teams play, the way they train, it's a huge level of intensity, both in terms of the physical side and the mental, the mental capacity and the psychological strength needed to play for him. I don't think it has a long, it's brilliant when it's operating, but I don't think it has a very long shelf life. That's just my opinion. But anyway, that's for everybody else to have an opinion on. Let's jump into some more of your live comments here. One here says Leicester United, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Leicester, repeat that twice, all made sure the Scousers never won the league. City allowed the Scousers to win the league. They had one job. Look, Mohammed, I know you're bantering there, but look, Liverpool, no one could stop this Liverpool team right now. They have just hit their peak when City are past theirs, and when everybody else is rebuilding or trying to pick themselves up from the ground. Then it's perfect storms. It's the most perfect time for Liverpool to be this good. If Liverpool were this good 2 years ago, when City reached their peak, it could be very different. If Liverpool hadn't won the Champions League and Tottenham had done, things right now could be very different. The psychological aspect plays a huge part. Liverpool felt rejuvenated by winning that. It was almost that stepping block. Said, right, we can go one step further now and win the league. Where with City, it was an amazingly difficult battle to go back-to-back and retain their title. First time they'd done that since they've had all their money. First team to do it in over a decade. And it was almost that element of, at least we retained our title. That's an achievement. I don't think they came into this season with the the same attitude that Liverpool did. That's the mental side of it. And as soon as Liverpool were as relentless as they were towards the end of the season before, I think, and I don't think any City player has sat down and gone, oh, I'm going to stop trying. I think it's a subconscious thing. The body can't do anymore. The mind can't do anymore. And that's where the difference has come. And by the way, Liverpool fans enjoy this. But any rival of them, just bear in mind that in another couple of years, Liverpool will go through what City are going through now. They will fall off and somebody else will rise again. History proves that. Nobody's ever won the league, the Premier League, more than 3 times on the bounce. I don't think any English side in the modern era, say post World War II, has won it 4 times on the bounce. Not even the great Liverpool sides. Maybe they did. No, I don't think they have. I think they've done it 3 on the bounce. So it always happens. This always comes about. You just need to make sure that your team are the ones that then peak and can pass them. Simple as that. We have another super chat here. This is from Neil O'Callaghan, who says Pep should never have taken off De Bruyne and Aguero. Big mistake. They could have saved him. Now it's proven costly. What was he thinking? Oh, look, all managers make mistakes at times. They truly do. But yeah, it was a brilliant game of football. And I think that I didn't understand the taking off of Aguero, but then they go 2-0 up. They go 2-0 up, but Wolves don't stop fighting. And we know how poor Manchester City's defence has been this year. Yes, they've had defensive injuries, but they've still got Kyle Walker and Mendy out there. That's £100 million worth of fullbacks. They've still got Bravo in goal after sending off. You know, their squad, even down to 10 men, is the valuation soars past that of Wolverhampton Wanderers, and they were 2-0 up. It was a capitulation. You know, it truly was. And there are lots of managers that get criticised for their signings. And I think people do need to look at Pep and criticise him, because I know Mendy's had his injury problems, but the man's more famous for his tweeting, you know, and wearing a shark mask or whatever it is, a shark hat, than he is being an actual fullback. Awful from him. There's no doubt about it. And Wolves deserve all the praise in the world. And just to give you an idea of the regression from City, they now, as it stands, sit on 38 points this season, which is fairly respectable. 12 wins, 2 draws, 5 defeats. But if we go back to game 19 last year, they were, I believe, about 6 points better off. They were sitting on 44 points. So they had 6 more points. They'd lost 3 and drawn 2 this time last year and won 14. If we go back 2 years ago, where they were at the peak of their powers, at their absolute best, they were sitting on 55 points after 19 games, 18 wins and 1 draw, only 12 conceded. You're getting towards your 17 points swing since 2 years ago. So this is the point I make to people, and Gary Neville spoke about this earlier on in the season. Football's about phases and times, and this great City, this very good City team, I don't know if we call them great or not. They have won back-to-back league titles, though, so maybe they're considered great. It's past its best. It's now time to see. By the way, Pep Guardiola's got an opportunity here, though, to kind of shut down some of his detractors, because if he does stay and he rebuilds another title-winning team, nobody can throw at him that he can't rebuild a side. That's the one kind of question that's always been put out there about Pep Guardiola. Can he rebuild a team once it passes its peak? We will see if he has the minerals for that. I have another super chat here. This is from Vasak. Sorry, Sheikh, sorry, who says, "Hey Terry, happy Liverpool fan here. Just here to say that love your channel. And F Fraudiola, excited for the next match. Wolves are a tough team. Bring it on. Good night." Wolves are a tough team, but Liverpool will absolutely manhandle them. Liverpool will manhandle them. Remember, this December was meant to be the month where City were able to catch. City dropped points a couple of times before Liverpool went to Qatar. And Liverpool returned, batter Leicester, and then City capitulate again. And I felt it was always going to happen. There's just something gone from this City team. They've lost their air of invincibility. And to give you an example of that, you know, you see sometimes really good up-and-coming boxers or even champions that are great. They lose a fight and they suddenly lose that sense of invincibility, and they start getting beaten on a more regular basis. And I feel like that's what's happened to this collective group at City. They've been beaten a few too many times. They've seen somebody soar past them, and doesn't look like they have the character to bounce back. And it's also another example as why they're not better than the 1999 Manchester United team, because in 1997 they won the league. The year later, Arsenal pipped them to it. They came back even stronger. 3 years they won the league, and then Arsenal swept in again and won the league. Year after that, they came back and won it again, and that shows the sign of a great team where the core group were pretty much the same the whole way through. Chelsea, won it back to back. Then Man United came in and won it a few times, and Chelsea won it again. They came back and rebuilt. Great sides. It's not just about an individual season, which sometimes, I wouldn't call it fluky, but sometimes you can just do some amazing things. It's about how that core group performs over a 4, 5, 6 year basis. They're very, very good. Not sure if we call them great. Maybe we do because they won back-to-back league titles. But in comparison to other great groups, I think the Chelsea and two lots of Man United and Chelsea teams probably, as it stands, surpass that of City right now, because they all won Champions Leagues along with everything else. And that's why this Liverpool team, if they can win a couple of back-to-back league titles as well as having a Champions League, they will be considered better in my eyes than this Man City unit. There's no doubt about it at all. Let's jump into a few more of your live. Let's do a few more live comments here. Let's see what people are saying. Dear Terry, don't think the Manchester City players lack. Sorry, Terry, don't you think that the Manchester City players lack players who can compete with? No, they've got a great, strong squad. It's just that they've lost their edge this year. They weren't up for the fight this year. That's all it's come down to. This is Sean here. He says, I'd take a treble over invincibility all day. Could be on for 6 trophies this year. Absolutely. I mean, I can imagine that. Yeah, exactly. Winning 6 trophies would just be, I said this yesterday. It's the final thoughts on tonight's show as well. Liverpool are that good. They could go on and win a treble this year. They could finish the season picking up ridiculous amounts of trophies. It could be the greatest individual season ever for an English club. And then they could strengthen in the summer. If they do that plus back-to-back league titles, Liverpool could be looking at the greatest English club side in the history of our game. Now, to rivals out there, that should be a sobering thought. It's a scary one to me as a Man United fan, but we cannot deny what we're witnessing. We cannot deny it. And City have cracked mentally, psychologically, because of the brilliance of this Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp side. There is no doubt about that in my mind. Do me a big favor, hit that like button. Please hit the share button as well. They're 2 of the best ways you can support this platform. But until next time, take care, goodbye, and God bless.